Assalamu alaikum people, I'm your host Mussab Shaiban from RootsTv, your first Western Australian Muslim community TV channel.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, all praises to Allah, all praises to Allah.
Tonight on the show we have a wonderful line of guests lined up. Firstly, one of our first guests here tonight is Maryam Khan. Maryam was involved in a couple of recent projects, including not too long ago, the Open Mosque Day, and also the Halal Food Project and Maiwa and Seeker Circle. I'll leave all that exciting stuff to Maryam Khan herself. Maryam, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Maryam, as you've mentioned. I am the coordinator for Halal Food Bank in Perth, and yes, as you said, I'm involved in a couple of other initiatives. I work as a BA full-time, a little bit of a nerd, if you want to call it that. Yeah, that's me.
Nice. Can you tell us how you got involved with the Halal Food Project and how, basically, what was the inspiration behind the project?
I can. We got involved with Halal Food Bank through the work we were doing in the community for a different organization, which is one that myself and my friend Shamima Kolia set up. It's called Muslim Youth WA. So it's a youth-focused organization, and we try to address the complicated question of the Australian Muslim identity, and that's not an easy task. And when we launched on the project, we didn't have a lot of community experience behind us. I didn't have any community experience behind me. So we started up in 2005, and through Muslim Youth WA, we've worked with a few organizations, government, non-government, local, as well as interstate. And alhamdulillah, we've always worked with various shuyukh. So here in Perth, we've worked with Sheikh Burhan very closely, and we continue to. And he was also involved with the National Mosque Open Day project with us. And through him, we met Imam Afroz Ali, who has actually set up Halal Food Bank in Sydney. So we started talking to him, and at that time, we were coming to a place in the Maiwa journey where we realized the need for service is a lot greater than just for the Muslim youth identity. And we started discovering pockets and areas of development, like, for example, taking care of halal food needs for not just migrant and refugee families and communities, but also local communities here in Perth.
So this is not just for the Muslim community?
It is not just for the Muslim community, and that's a good question. So it's important to kind of iron out this difference. It's not just for the Muslim community, but the point I want to make is, before Halal Food Bank, the only Muslim aid agency that was catering to the needs of the Muslim community in Perth was the Muslim Women's Support Centre. We worked with them to develop food hampers for Ramadan and Eid, and we were also at the time working with Elmi and ECC and the Migrant Resource Centre, and we realised, well, this should really be an ongoing permanent thing. So whilst there's a lot of people accessing service agencies like Salvation Army and St. Vincent de Paul and Red Cross and even Muslim Women's Support Centre, what we don't have is a dedicated focus on some of the Muslim specific needs, if I can call it that. So one of the things that we focused on was the ability to provide halal food, because that was practically possible for us, because there's a number of needs, and this was just one of them. So when we do package the boxes up and deliver it to our distributor organizations, I'm just going to answer your question now. You're right. It's not, we don't sort of say to them, hey, this is just for the Muslims, and don't sort of give it to anybody else in need. But obviously the preference is the Muslim clients.
The Muslim clients. That's perfect. Great stuff. Could you tell our viewers how the Halal Food Project reads, how it works basically? I mean, what do a person like me does, and how do I get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on Facebook. So it's the place to be. Get on it. Even if you just like the page. So it's facebook.com/Halal Food Bank Perth. The concept is really, really simple. It's just based on donations. So we get the community to donate halal non-perishable food, and we package it up once a month. and deliver it to the distributor organizations. So the organizations that we're working with are the Muslim Women's Support Center, St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army, and Liquor. So those are our 4 distributor organizations, and we deliver the food to them. The way we package up the food, we try to get a balance of the food groups. So we've got a good, the appropriate balance of dairy and starch, vegetables, fruit, and protein and things like that. So to get involved, it's super easy. Come and talk to me. Like us on Facebook. We put all the notifications around what we need, whether it's people to help do deliveries, people to help with packing days, people to help with inventory days. Even if you can just tell a friend about it, word of mouth, because we would like to grow this project.
Wow.
So it's pretty simple.
Sounds very exciting. For the non-Muslim viewers, can you explain very briefly what halal food is, firstly? I understand there's a big kind of issue in our community about halal food and whatnot, and little people have a understanding and a grasp of what halal food is. Do you mind taking that opportunity and explaining it briefly?
I'll give it a shot.
Yep.
So as a Muslim, the key focus in my life is to try and get closer to my Creator. So whatever I do has to have that focus. When you think about food and cuisine, the daily things that you do, the way you walk, the way you dress, your thoughts, what you consume, one of those things is food. We consume food. So there's a whole spirituality behind that. Halal food is just food that is deemed permissible under Islamic law, and the reasoning behind that goes back to that spiritual element. So what you consume is what you become, and it's what affects your spiritual state.
So halal is not a terminology for an extra ingredient or some kind of extraction of the meat. It's just basically the method. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right. So halal actually applies to a number of, and I'm not an expert in this, so please nobody quote me. Please do your own research. But for something to be halal, there are a few guidelines and a few considerations. One is the way the particular animal is slaughtered, but it's also around how the animal is treated before it's slaughtered. So the concept of halal doesn't just apply to meat. You can get, for example, well, it does, because there's derivatives from meat that are added into a lot of the products that we eat. So for example, I could pick up a can of pasta, like tin pasta, and if it's got an animal sourced flavoring in it, then that would make it impermissible for myself as a Muslim to consume.
That would also make it impermissible for the project to go on, because I understand most of the foods involved is mainly halal food. Is that correct?
That is correct. Fortunately, because we're dealing with non-perishable food items, it's not too difficult to source. So a lot of, we're pretty lucky in Australia that the labeling on food packages, it could definitely be better, but it's, it gives you a good indication of what's in it. And the things that we get people to donate are things like vegetables, fruit, milk, pasta, sugar, these kinds of things, that they're fairly safe. We do check though before we pack the boxes, and then we just give the non-halal food to places like Food Bank.
Nice. I understand every project and every organization goes through many obstacles and many kind of hiccups during the way. What are the main kind of obstacles that a Halal Food project went through, and how did you guys overcome that?
So alhamdulillah, so far we've been very, very blessed. The Perth community has absolutely astounded us with their generosity, and not just one-off generosity, it's this ongoing support. I get people calling me from shopping centers saying, I'm in this aisle, exactly which product do you need, how much food can I give for what number of boxes. So mashallah, there's a great appetite to help out within Perth. In terms of the challenges that we face, the opportunities we have to develop, we're a very small organization. We're completely volunteer based, and at the moment we're not set up to receive cash donations, which makes it very difficult to secure premises. So the ones that we have right now, so because we need a place to store the food and pack the food and deliver the food out of. So what we're using at the minute has been donated by one of the supporters of the project. So, which is fantastic, and you know, it's alhamdulillah, but it's another example of that generous spirit in the community.
It's always a great deal when someone helps in and contributes.
Absolutely, and we get to use their premises for free, which is a bonus because we don't have money. And actually, on that note, we encourage people to donate either their time in a way or food donations, because one of the things this project is trying to do is develop that community of like-minded people that are that want to take an active interest in local aid work. So you know, we do focus a lot on, you know, international situations that need our help, and rightly so, and we should continue to do that. But we need to just bear in mind that there's a lot of our brothers and sisters right here in Perth that could use that helping hand. So just to reiterate, we really need premises. And
you heard that, guys. You heard that. Yes. Hopefully, get in touch with Maryam Khan and try and help out and contribute in any way possible. Lastly, for those who missed out, Maryam, how can someone help? How can someone contribute? And how can someone even volunteer with you guys?
Like us on Facebook. Like I said, it's facebook.com/Halal Food Bank Perth. My contact details are up there, as well as a couple of the other members of the team. Send us a message, send me a text. We have a website. You can find us through Muslim Youth WA. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maryam. Thank you for your time today, and it was lovely having you on the show.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Most of the links are on the description. Please get in touch with Halal Food Project, and please get in touch with Maryam Khan. She does need volunteers and premises. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Alhamdulillah, all praises to Allah, all praises to Allah. I never thought about all the things you have given to me.